Morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what we learned in the previous note video, which is congruency statements. And what I want to do today is kind of show you how to use these congruency statements, because I think that's one of the most important things to come out of this section. Right? We talked about congruent polygons and what congruence mean. We already know what congruency means, but the congruency statement itself is actually quite useful. We can get a lot of information out of that. So let's get right to it. So this is asking us to write a statement that indicates the triangles in each pair are congruent. And you can tell these triangles are congruent because, look, they have 3 congruent angles and 3 congruent sides. When I say congruent, I mean pairs. So H and W, I and V and J and U all match up, as do these sides. Right? HI, VW, JI, VU, and then JH and WU. I can tell this because of the notation, right? This side has a single tick mark, as does this side. Therefore, those are congruent. You know, this angle has a single arc, as does this. That means these angles are congruent. So I'm going to go ahead and write the congruency statement. And I like to use the angles as my barometer. So I go in order. So I go 1, 2, 3. So HIJ. So triangle HIJ is congruent to triangle, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So WVU, WVU, and that's it. It's that simple. If I wanted to match the sides and angles up, I could easily do that. Like IH is congruent to VW, JI is congruent to VU, and you can tell this by the tick marks. But this is the congruency statement. I want to do the odds with you. So over here, we're going to do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3. We'll start with the top one. So HIJ is a triangle. HIJ is congruent to triangle, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so HLK is triangle HLK. And again, I'm just using these arcs as a guide. Okay, last one here. We have 1, 2, 3, and we have 1, 2, 3. So MLK, so triangle MLK is congruent to triangle XWK. Triangle XWK. All right, we're just using the arcs as a guide. It's pretty much that straightforward, that simple. Okay, let's go ahead to the back here. So now it's asking us to complete each congruent statement by naming the corresponding angle or side. Okay, so angle RST. So let's find RST. RST would be that arc right there. So what would that be congruent to? So S is the middle part. So that's the vertex of that angle. So angle S. So let's look at angle Y because it's the third point here. So S is the third letter. Y is the third letter here. And it's a little tricky because S is in both angles, but I know this triangle is this one because T and R are here. So that's how I know it's this letter here. So be careful of that because S actually appears in both triangles. But the angle is different for each one. It's not the same. S over here is not the same as S over here, if that makes any sense. So S here, RST is that one right there, RST. So that means this point here is Y is the same as SYW. So angle SYW. I'll again say how I did that. So RST, we identify that arc. So RST is here. And I know S is the vertex, therefore I'm looking at that letter. S is right there, it's the third letter. So then I look over here, the third letter is Y, and I identify what that is. You could either name that SYW or WSYS, doesn't really matter, either one works. Let's look at number 9. So these two triangles are congruent. LM's, the side LM. Okay, LM is the second and third letter there. So therefore MA would have to be that, so MA. Okay. And then number 11, BAC and BVW. So angle A, so angle A only appears over here, so we know it's this one. Angle A is here, and that's the second letter. So it's going to match up with the second letter here, which is V. So angle V. And that's it. So you can see by being given the congruency statement, you can say a lot about the triangles. And if you know there's a congruency statement to be had, there's things you can talk about the angles and the sides. All right, so hopefully that answers any questions you might have had in the classwork, and let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks, guys.